Alors, bonjour tout le monde, je suis Catherine-Emmanuelle Delisle, créatrice de femme-sans-enfant.com. Je commence cette entrevue en français pour vous présenter brièvement mon invité pour que vous compreniez vraiment en français de qui il s'agit. Et après, nous allons transférer en anglais. Donc, mon invité s'appelle, et je me suis pratiquée pour dire son nom, il m'a donné des petits cours avant le début de l'entrevue. Alors, c'est Sikhumbuzo Dube. Donc, Dube est un nom quand même, comme j'ai dit à mon invité, qui est utilisé étrangement au Québec. Donc, ça nous a fait bien rigoler. Et mon invité vient du Zimbabwe. Donc, c'est un homme qui n'a pas d'enfant par circonstances et qui est marié. Et c'est aussi un pasteur. Donc, je trouvais que c'était super intéressant de parler tout d'abord avec un homme africain, un homme qui est impliqué vraiment dans tout ce qui a trait à la religion et finalement un homme marié qui n'a pas d'enfant par circonstance. Donc, et je dois dire aussi qu'il est un des ambassadeurs de la Childless Week, de la World Childless Week. Et aujourd'hui, pour ce 16 septembre, on va parler des hommes, les hommes qui comptent aussi. Donc, so I'm going to switch in English now. So I would really love to welcome you, Sikhumbuzo, for this first encounter with me. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be talking about that very taboo topic of childless men. So I will let you introduce yourself more precisely in English to the viewers.
Thank you, Catherine, for giving me this time. It's a pleasure to share about this taboo topic. As I've been introduced earlier on, I am Sikhumbuzo Dube. I am a pastor, a healthcare chaplain, and a founder of Shunem Care, which is a ministry that is dedicated to providing care for those who are involuntarily childless. I was born right here in the City of Kings. It's called Bulawayo, the second largest city in Zimbabwe. And I am in a childless marriage due to some issues that were beyond our comprehension. We found ourselves not being able to have a child. And as a pastor, that is a deplorable situation. And later on, as an African, it's something that's very hard to comprehend and to come to terms to. But I have broken into the public space and spoke about this very delicate topic. And I am pleased that Catherine-Emmanuelle has decided to give me this time to share from my heart issues that we as childless men experience. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure, really.
Merci.
And so the first question I would like to ask you is, how is it to be an African childless man? So meaning, how does it affect your relationships with other men and then with the community?
Beautiful question. Being a childless man in Africa as an African, okay, I would love to paint it in this way. Mm-hmm. According to our culture, children are a continuation or a link that joins the dead and the living. Mm. And so when you are a childless man, you have broken that continuation, that link that connects the dead and the living. And because of that, you are an individual that, so to speak, has committed a genocide, and you have broken that link. And so this makes you to receive some unkind words from fellow childless men, from other men, and it reduces your being a man. You are not man enough. You hear statements like, you are shooting blanks, meaning to say, there's nothing that you are doing, you are just a weak man. If you were a real man, children would have been born. So it really affects the relationship that you have with other people. And I was looking at this and I was talking to my wife and she was asking me, so who is your friend? Because I don't have a friend except her, because childlessness reduces your circle of influence, not so to speak, your friendship circle. People are not comfortable in making you their friend because they don't know what will injure you and what will not injure you. So that's the friendships that I used to have before I got married have not been sustained after I got married, because when I got married, I then lost most of my friends. They can't relate with me. They talking about their children going to school. And what am I talking about? They are talking about their children having their first day at school. And what is it that I will be talking about? So the topics end up not connecting because we don't have something in common. Yeah. So it really affects the relationships, so to speak. Yeah.
Wow. And has that had an impact on your community? How the people you lead in the church, how did they reacted? Because I'm wondering, did you hide it from them at one point? Were you ashamed of it? And then did you do like kind of a coming out about it? I'm wondering.
Okay, all right. No, it took me quite some time to come out in the open. I'll just give you one example. A couple of years ago, I was pastoring some of the churches out there in the country, and a 9-year-old girl came to me. We were neighbors, and I was pastoring in a school setup. So the compound there, the pastor's houses there, the headmaster's houses there. We were neighbors, and this little child comes to me, 9-year-old girl. Innocently, she asked, "Pastor, where's your child?" I said to her, my child, I don't have one. I'm still praying. And she was shocked. She couldn't understand that a pastor doesn't have a child. What's wrong? Mm-hmm. What's wrong? And then she said, sorry, I will pray for you. That innocence was something that struck me. And then I thought to myself, okay, if this child is asking about this, no church member has been bold enough to ask about this kind of a situation. It means that they are bleeding inside of their hearts, or they have some things that are troubling them. They are wondering whether we have a complete pastor. These questions ran in my mind. And there were situations when my wife got ill, because of some issues in the uterus. And members would come and try to comfort the pastor, but you would see that the prayers that are being prayed, they are saying, sickness is at a wrong place. It's not supposed to be here. Lord, why are you allowing this thing to happen? So this also translates to the issue of childlessness, because in Christian circles, childlessness can be linked to being cursed. You don't have a child, you are cursed.
Yes.
And also in my African culture, it's the same thing. Don't have a child, it's because you've been cursed. So there are some things that you need to sort out. So I have two things that I have to contend with: my own culture and my own religion as a Christian. So as a pastor, it took me time to break out in public space. And one day I wrote an article and I decided, let me just talk about it. And after writing this article, it stayed there for quite some time without clicking the share button, because I was afraid, I knew that clicking the share button would attract a lot of insults and whatever. And it would, for lack of a better word, it would defile me. It would make me dirty. So I then thought to myself, there is a brother that is out there who is in my situation.
Yes.
And maybe there is another sister who is in my situation that is experiencing, that is going through what I'm going through. So why not just click this share button, close your eyes and click it. Just click the share button. I prayerfully closed my eyes. It was on the 1st of January, 2018. I closed my eyes. I clicked the share button and it went out there into the world. It was on Facebook. After that,
That's something.
It was something. I instantly regretted having done that.
Really?
Because I felt unclean. I said to myself, what in the world? What have I done? Why did I do this? Why did I do this? It only took somebody who was in my situation to speak to me, to say, thank you for sharing. I'm walking in your shoes. At least now I know I'm normal. At that instant, it was like worlds of peace just came. So many waves of peace just came and they engulfed me. I found myself at a more peaceful place than before sharing. So sharing was therapeutic to me, as it invited some issues that were unwelcoming, but it became therapy. That's when I started the journey of sharing. But maybe before that, I met some wonderful people. I met, as I was doing my master's, I did a master's in healthcare chaplaincy because I really wanted to help people who are going through my situation. And the research topic which I did was concerning women that are involuntarily childless and their patients' care, an intervention program for these women in the public, in Bulawayo's public hospitals, which is the city that I'm in. And so as I was doing that research, I looked for so many articles and I came across Robin Huddle's articles. And when I read that, I saw myself. That really helped me. And also, as I was in the process, I met a couple. They are in Kenya. They founded Waiting Wombs Trust. These are the trips. Yeah. So I spent some time with them, and they also helped me to see that I'm a normal human being. I also took some therapy with a number of counselors before I could click that button. So It was quite a journey.
Yes.
It was quite a journey, coming out in the open and then starting a ministry which I call Shunem Care, which is a ministry that really is a response to the needs of my people in my country.
Wow, what a transformation.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's very touching to hear your story. And I can say I feel related to you because there was shame with the fact that being a childless woman, because in my case, I learned very early I was in menopause and I would not be able to produce a child. So I feel close to you in a sense that it took me lots of courage to press the share button, but once I did, it brought so many people, new people in my life who needed me to speak up. Like I just discovered so many people were suffering from not having children. And this started me on this journey of connection rather than disconnection. So actually connection to myself first, connection to my grief. And then once I had done that, I could better connect with others to support them in this journey of being childless. So I would say the click factor was a game changer for both of us in that special way.
Oh, beautiful, 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 beautiful. I like that. I think I have a new term that you've given me, the click factor. The
click factor, yes. And when you get the guts to click and to share, that's where you get the sensitivity, the understanding, the being seen in what you are, in the glorious parts and the more somber parts, which are all part of you and make you a wonderful human being to interact with. So you didn't quite answer one part of my question, which is, how did the religious community that you built, how did they react as Christians to this state that you're in, being a childless man, and to the fact your woman is a childless woman also, because she's in the equation?
Okay, right. I will answer it in two parts. That is before sharing and also after sharing. Before the click factor and after the click factor.
Okay.
So before the click factor, I received and said to say some from those close to me. I received some unkind comments, like other pastors are busy having pastors' kids and you don't have any. So what's up with that? What's up with that? So this was the most piercing comment that I ever got, and before sharing. And at that time, I was not that emotionally stable. It hit me very hard. My wife had a share that she shared with me. The comments took us to our blankets and we would cry in our blankets, pray to God, wonder why people would be this unkind.
Yes.
Sharing the same faith, persuasion. Why? This was before the click factor.
Yeah.
And now after the click factor, people don't stop. After the click factor, you are a pastor. Why do you share this shameful thing, this embarrassing thing? What do you think us as your members should do? There were some where there's guts. What do you think we should do? Because if you're sharing this, you are saying the God whom you profess to be a prayer answering God is the God that doesn't answer prayers. Maybe ironically, Keith, people come to me with their prayer requests to say, I need a child. And I pray, and God answers that prayer, but I still remain without a child. See, so that's ironic. I mean, those who come to me in need of prayers and they ask for assistance, Lord, I just need a child. We pray together and God blesses those people with children and they come back and they say, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Pastor, for taking us to the Lord in prayer because now we have children. But here am I. And so you find issues before the click factor, issues like you're not praying enough. They were there. And after the click factor, they're still there. You are not praying enough. You're not praying. If you pray, if you pray, that's what they will be saying. If you pray, God can answer. Yeah, God can answer. I believe that. But maybe this is not for me. Mm-hmm. Maybe my prayers, God can give me other things, not this thing. Mm-hmm. So in the religious circles, it's a bit unkind because I am a religious leader. Yeah. That is supposed to be a demonstration of what I am professing and what I'm teaching. But now, when what I'm teaching is not coming to fruition, then what? What is it about that which you are teaching? So it's an oxymoron, it's contradictory. So that is why I say I am righteously rebellious, because I have no option except to destroy these thoughts that are in people that say, when you don't have a child, you are cursed. Because when I read in the Bible, I find people who were not cursed, who were blessed, who were loved by God. Zechariah, the prophet. Zechariah was loving God with all his heart, but he didn't have a child. That wasn't a curse. So I just need to dispel that myth. So in my righteous rebellion, I am helping people who are in my situation to walk tall and say, no, you are not cursed. You're still a child of God. You are still loved. You are still a complete individual. You are enough. You are enough. So
yes, and this concludes like perfectly this interview, because these words, you are enough. You are worthy as you are, as a childless man, I think are really important for men to hear, because out there's not a lot of men who get enough courage to speak up. So that's why it's so important to me and to men what you're doing today, giving me your time and sharing your thoughts about this subject. So again, Sikhumbuzo, is that?
Yes. Sikhumbuzo.
Oh, Sikhumbuzo.
Yes.
Oh,
It's okay. It's fine.
Strikes there.
Yeah.
So I thank you very much for the time we shared today together.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I hope we will have the chance to meet again, maybe someday in person.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There's one final thing that I want to say.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I just want to say to people out there who are in my shoes, is the question of leaving a legacy, and also as childless men and childless women. This is a very difficult question. Now, for me, I have been challenged by childlessness to leave a legacy, not to leave a legacy. Okay, leave as in L-I-V-E,
yeah,
and not to live as in L-E-A-V-E. No. So I am supposed to be an embodiment of the legacy, to be the living legacy. So let's go out there and be the living legacy, and let's not wait to leave the legacy when we are gone, but let's make an impact as we are living, because the time is now. You are complete. You are enough. That's one final thing that I wanted to say.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I feel touched, and my heart is really full right now, full of your thoughts, and as you are complete with me today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Catherine-Emmanuelle, for giving me this time and also for giving me this platform to talk about something that's close to my heart. And I am deeply touched by the connection that brings us together. Our pain has been turned into purpose, and we can forge our way ahead with our heads up high, knowing that we are enough, we are complete. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Oh, merci. À bientôt.